relax, become lax relámpago, flash, lightning relativo, a, relative relevar, to relieve relieve, m, relief, de, in relief religion, religion religioso, a, religious relinco, nay, snort reliquia, remain, relic relino, a, replete remanso, stagnant water remedar, to imitate, resemble remediar, to remedy remo, or, hind or forelegs of a beast, in this sense usually plural, remolcador, m, tugboat remontar, to remount, supply, climb remotamento, remorse remoto, a. Remote remover, to remove remuda, relief, relay remuneration, remuneration rensur, rancor, hatred rendiga, opening, slit render, to surrender, vanquish renegar, to deny renegrado, a. Blackened renombre, m. Renown renovar, to renew renta, rent, income renuncia, renunciation renuncier, to renounce rio, m. and f. Criminal rio, a. Guilty repartir, to deal, distribute, scatter repeller, to repel repent, m. Unexpected event, de. Unexpectedly repertorio, repertoire repetition, repetition. Repetir, to repeat repiquatio, beat, roll, jingle repligar, to fold, se, to fall back repleto, a. Replete replicar, to reply repoblation, repopulation repoblator, one who settles again reponer, to repose, replace, se, to recover reposado, a. Restful, snug reposar, to rest, lie reposo, repose representation, representation represent anti, ans, representative representer, to represent representativo, a. Representative repression, repression reprimir, to repress reproach, m. Reproach. Blemish reproducer, to reproduce republica, republic republicano, a. ans, republican, citizen repugnant, repugnant reputation, reputation requirier, to require requibro, complement, etcher s, to complement requisito, requirement res, f, beast, head of cattle resabio, vice, evil effect rescatar, to redeem, ransom resentimiento, resentment resonar, to review, point out reserva, reserve reservado, a. Reserved reservoir, to reserve refuerzo, reinforcement residencia, residence residente. Ans, residing, resident resider, to reside resignation, resignation resignar, to resign resistencia, resistance resister, to resist resolution, resolution resolver, to resolve, solve resonar, to resound resort, m. Motive, resource respectivament, respectively respectivo, a. Respective respecto, respect, relation, este, with respect to this, de, with respect to respetar, to respect respeto, respect respectuoso, a. Respectful respiration, respiration respirar, to breathe. Resplandecer, to shine resplandescent, resplendent resplendor, m. Gleam, splendor responder, to reply, to be responsible for, guarantee responsibilidad, responsibility responsible, ans, responsible, responsible person respuesta, reply resquicio, opening, rift, opportunity restant, remaining restaner, to stop the flow of blood, staunch restar, to remain restaurar, to restore resto, rest, remnant rest regar, to rub resual tamant, resolutely resual to, a. Resolute resultado, result. Outcome result anti, f. Resultant resulter, to result, come about resumir, to resume, and resumidas cuentas, in brief resurrection, resurrection retaguardia, rear, rear guard retardar, to delay, postpone redempler, to encourage, give fire to retener, to hold back, retain retina, retina, I retentin, m, tinkling, ring retirata, retreat retirers, to retire retiro, retirement, retreat retu, challenge retino, sprout, shoot ritorno, return retradder, to portray, depict retrato, portrait retrogradar. To degenerate, lapse, fall back retrogrado, a, retrograde, backward retumber, to resound reunion, reunion, gathering reunir, to unite, add, combine revelation, revelation reveler, to reveal reverer, from the French, to dream reverbero, street lamp, arc light reverso, reverse side of a coin reeves, m, opposite, al, contrariwise revestir, to clothe, cover, invest revistar, to review reviver, to live again, be renewed revocar, to revoke revoler, to fly about revolotare, to flutter revoltare, to revolve, will about revolution, revolution revolutioner, to revolutionize, convulse revolucionario, a, revolutionary revolver, to turn about, envelop revuelta, vicissitude, revolt re, king rezar, to pray rico, a, rich rick, onomatopoeic syllables imitating noise produced by friction ridiculo, a, ridiculous riego, sprinkling, watering rienda, rain, suelta, loose rain risgo, risk, danger rigido, a, rigid, inflexible rigorosamente, rigorously rigoroso, a, rigorous rinconata, corner. Nook, bend Rena, fight Rio, river Rio Janeiro, capital of Brazil Riqueza, wealth, riches Risa, laugh, smile risotada, loud laughter ristra, string, ro risueno, a, smiling ritmo, rhythm rival, ans, rival rivalizar, to rival, con, to be with Rivera, shore, bank risado, a, curly rebar, to steal robo, theft robusticer, to make strong robusto, a, robust, strong roca, rock roccoloso, a, rocky rose, m, friction, intercourse rothiado, a, bidud rocio, do rodar, to roll rodir, to surround rodilla, knee roder, aura, gnawing roga, to beseech, entreat rogizo, a, reddish rojo, a, red roma, Rome romance, m, novel, romance, story romancista, m, romancer romano, a, Roman romantico, a, romantic romper, to break, marca, to set out ropa, cloth, clothes rosa, rose rosado, a, rosy rosario, religious procession rostro, face, rostrum rotulo, title, inscription rosar, to scrape rubicundo, a, rubicund, tawny rubio, a, golden rudiza, coarseness rudimentario, a, rudimentary rudimento, rudiment, beginning ruica, distaff ruda, circle, will rugo, prayer, entreaty ruger, to roar, bellow rudo, noise ruidoso, a, noisy ruina, ruin rumbo, direction, course, con a, bound for rumiar, to ruminate, think rumor, m, rumor, news russo, a, Russian rutilant, shining, sparkling rutinario, a, routinary s sabato, Saturday sabalo, shad sabana, plain saber, to know how, a, to wit sabaduria, wisdom sablazo, saber blow, as, by dint of sabering sabor, m. Taste sabroso, a, savory, sweet sakar, to take out sacerdote, priest sacerdotisa, priestess satier, to satiate, satisfy sacco, coat sacramental, sacramental sacrificar, to sacrifice sacrificio, sacrifice sacraligo, a, sacrilegious sacuder, to shake, stir up sacha sombrero, broad-brimmed straw hat citazo, arrow blow, arrow wound sagacidad, sagacity sagaz, sagacious, keen sagrado, a, sacred sajon, ona, Saxon Sajonia, Saxony sala, hall, room, de armas, armory salado, a, salty, salted. Salamanca, Salamanca, city in Spain. V notes, 78, 15 Salero, gracefulness salida, exit, departure, raid salir, to go out, leave salobra, briny, salty Salamonico, a, pertaining to Solomon, wise, Solomonic salon, m, salon, parlor, hall Salonica, city in Greece salpicar, to bespatter salter, to leap, jump over saltiter, highwayman salubra, salubrious, wholesome salute, health salute. Hail. Salutable, salubrious, healthful saludar, to greet, salute saludo, salute, greeting salva, salvo, gun salute salvation, salvation salvahi, savage salver, to save, leap over, cover, pass salvo, save, accept salvo, a, save sangrar, to bleed sangra, f, blood sangrento, a, gory, cruel sanguinario, a, bloodthirsty sano, a, safe, healthy santo, a, holy sanctuario, sanctuary sana, anger, rage sarcasmo, sarcasm sarcastico, a, sarcastic sargentu, sergeant sarda, wreath, string, of things, series. Saster, Taylor satiro, satir satisfaction, satisfaction satisfacer, to satisfy satisfeco, a, satisfied saturadu, a, saturated sauce, m, willow sacco, elder tree savia, sap sazon, f, time, season, occasion sazonado, a, ripe, seasoned se, himself, herself, themselves, yourself, yourselves seco, a, dry secretement, secretly secretario, secretary secreto, secret secreto, a, secret secuas, m, follower secula, sequel, result secular, century old, secular secondario, a, secondary. Subordinate said, f, thirst seda, silk said, f, seat, headquarters sedentario, a, sedentary sedition, sedition sediento, a, thirsty seducer, to seduce seductor, aura, seductive, enticing cigar, to mow, cut down segida, n, at once seguir, to follow, continue segun, according to, as segundo, a, second seguridad, security, assurance seguro, a, secure, sure, certain cease, six selva, forest selvatico, a, wild, sylvan cellar, to seal cello, seal, stamp semana, weak semblant, m, appearance. Face sembrar, to so see megent, s, and a, fellow being, similar see megenza, resemblance see mejar, to resemble semi-barbaro, a, semi-barbarous semi-barbari, f, semi-barbarity semi-borer, to half wipe away semila, seed semi-tropical, semi-tropical sensiles, simplicity sensilo, a, simple, frank senda, byway sendero, narrow path sendita, diminutive of senda sendos, as, used in the PL, strictly, to each of a specified number, one each, more freely, many, several sino, bosom sensation, sensation. Sensible, appreciative, sensible, sensitive center, to fit, agree, set, se, to sit down sentencia, sentence sentido, a, heartfelt sentido, meaning, feeling, sense, direction sentimental, sentimental sentimento, sentiment, emotion sentir, to feel, here sena, sign, mark senil, f, sign senila, to point out, show senior, gentleman, Mr., Sir Senora, Lady, Mrs., Madam Senorita, Young Lady, Miss, Madam Senorito, Young Gentleman separation, separation separar, to separate separatista, separatist. Septentrional, Northern Septembra, M, September sepulchro, grave, tomb sepultar, to bury, engulf sequedad, barrenness, dryness sequia, drought sequito, M, following ser, to be ser, M, being, creature, modota, manifestation, mode of life serenar, to soothe, calm serenata, serenade serenidad, serenity sereno, a, serene, clear seriament, seriously seria, f, series serio, a, serious serpient, f, serpent servicio, service, use, payment, installment servidor, servant servidumbre, f, collect, servants servile, servile server, to serve, o allegiance sesentat, 60 session, session siso, used in the PL, brain sedentat, 70 severidad, severity severo, a, severe, grave sexo, sex si, prep. Form of sesi, yes, indeed si, if siempre, always, k, whenever, provided scene, f, temple sierra, mountain range siesta, nap taken in the afternoon 7 sigillo, secret, seal sigillo sament, secretly sigillo, century significado, meaning significar, to mean, signify significativo, a, significant signo, sign seguiant, following silbar, to whistle silbido, hiss, whistle silbo, whistle silencio, silence silencioso, a, silent silvestra, of the forest, sylvan scylla, chair, saddle, de. Posta, post chaise symbolo, symbol symmetrico, a, symmetrical simiant, f, seed sympatia, sympathy, attraction simpatico, a, attractive, charming simple, simple simplement, simply simulacro, pretense, image similar, to counterfeit, feign sin, without sincero, a, sincere singulagera, days run on the sea singular, singular singularizer, to set apart, make conspicuous siniestro, a, sinister, evil sino, except, but synthesis, f, synthesis sinuosidad, sinuosity, undulation sinuoso, a, sinuous. Undulating Zion, Zion Siquira, at least, although, even if sirena, siren, whistle systema, m, system systemato, a, systematized, systematic sitio, place, siege, arg, city lot situation, situation, state situar, to locate soberania, sovereignty sobrano, a, sovereign soberbio, a, haughty sobra, excess sobrato, a, sufficient, more than enough sobre, upon sobricoger, to surprise, alarm sobrehumano, a, superhuman sobrenatural, supernatural sobresalir, to rise, appear, stand out. Sobreviviente, surviving sobrevivir, to survive sobrino, nephew sobrio, a, sober social, social socialmente, socially sociedad, society, social group sociologico, a, sociological sociologo, sociologist securo, help suffocar, to stifle soul, m, son solamente, only soldado, soldier soledad, solitude, waste solemn, solemn solemnidad, solemnity solar, to be won't solicitar, to solicit, importune, sic solicito, a, careful, anxious, discriminating solicitude, care, solicitude solido, a, solid. Solitario, a, solitary, lonely soliviantar, to lift, raise solivire, to raise, lift solo, a, alone, single solo, only solta, to let loose solucian, solution solado, or lop, lower deck of a vessel solojar, to sob solazo, sob sombra, shadow, ghost sombrier, to shade sombrero, hat sombrio, a, somber summiter, to submit sumtido, a, submitted, submissive son, m, sound, and a, in the manner of sonar, to sound, rolls on dar, to sound, fathom sondir, to sound, fathom soneto, sonnet sonito. Sound, note sonoridad, sonority sonoro, a, sonorous, sounding sonrare, to smile sonrent, smiling sonrisa, smile sonador, dreamer sonar, to dream suppler, to blow sorbo, sip, draft sordo, a, dull, dumb, silent sorprendent, surprising sorprender, to surprise, overcome sorpresa, surprise sospechat, suspicion sospecture, to suspect sospeciso, a, suspicious sostener, to sustain, support sug, his, her, its, their, your suave, gentle, mild suavizer, to smooth, soften subdito, subject subdivider. To subdivide subir, to climb, ascend subito, a, sudden, de, suddenly sublevation, uprising sublevadu, rebel sublevar, to excite to rebellion, raise sublime, sublime subordination, subordination subordinato, a, subordinate subsequent, following, subsequent subsistencia, sustenance, food, provision substantia, substance subterraneo, a, subterranean, underground suburbio, suburb, outskirt subiuger, to conquer, subjugate suster, to follow, happen succession, succession successivement. Successively successo, event, successusur, successor succio, a, dirty succulent to, a, succulent succumber, to succumb sud, m, South Sudamericano, a, South American sudario, shroud, handkerchief sudder, m, perspiration, sweat swalo, soil, ground suel to, a, free, loose sueno, dream, sleep suerte, f, lot, fate, luxus tada, southeaster sufficient, sufficient suffrido, a, patient suffrimiento, suffering sufferer, to suffer, endure suggerir, to suggest, prompt suggestion, suggestion suggestivo, a. Suggestive suicidio, suicide sui generis, from the Latin, peculiar to itself suggestion, subjection sugtar, to subject sugtu, subject sultan, sultan summa, sum, n, in short summament, excessively suministrar, to supply, lend summer, to plunge, sink summation, submission sumiso, a, submissive sumo, a, supreme, a low, at the most sumptuosidad, sumptuousness superficii, f, surface superombre, superman superior, superior superioridad, superiority superponer, to place upon, compare. Superstitioso, a, superstitious supplantation, supplanting, substitution supplica, supplication, request supplicante, suppliant supplicio, punishment, execution suppler, to supply, serve instead of supponor, to suppose supremo, a, supreme, critical suppression, suppression suppusto, a, pp of supponor, por suppusto, of course sir, m, south circar, to furrow, sail circo, furrow surger, to surge, arise surtir, to provide, supply suspender, to suspend, cease suspension, suspension, suspend suspicas. Suspicious, jealous suspiro, si sustentar, to bear, support sustento, sustenance sustituer, to substitute, take the place of sustrur, to take away, se, elude, withdraw susuro, murmur, swish t tabaco, tobacco tabla, board tablata, octroi or custom house in the outskirts of a town tabula, small strip of wood about which fabrics are wrapped. Tacitus, Tacitus, Roman historian who lived from 55 to 120 AD. Tactica, tactics tacto, sense of touch to her, gambler tamato, sly, crafty tajada. Cut, slash Taha, river in Spain, the Tagus, Toledo is built on its banks tal, such a, cuel, such as, just as, conque, provided that talento, talent tala, height, stature tamano, size tambion, also tambour, drum tambouril, tambourine, drum tampico, neither, either, and not tan, so, como, as tantalo, Tantalus, punished according to Greek mythology to suffer everlasting thirst and hunger though almost within reach of food and water. Tantir, to feel, tri tanto, such, so much, anque, while, por lo, therefore, mas, quintuque, the more, since, tantos, quintos, as many, as to par, to cover, dam tapera, arg, abandoned house, de en galpon, from place to place. Tapia, mud wall, fence. Tapazar, to upholster. Tardar, to delay. Tard, afternoon. Tard, adverb, late, de en, occasionally. Tardo, slow. Taria, task, labor. Tardaro, tartar. Tassa, charge, fee. Tazer, to tax, appraise. Taumaturgo, magician, prodigy. The teatral, theatrical. Teatralo, dingy little theater. Teatro, theater, field of action. Technica, technico, roof, house. Tejado, roof. Teger, to weave, regulate. Tela, cloth. Teller, loom. Telegramma, telegram. Tellen, curtain, film. Tembler, to tremble. Temblin, ona, trembling. Tembloroso, quivering. Temor, to fear. Temoroso, fearful, afraid. Temable, fearful. Temor, fear. Temperamento, disposition, climate. Tempestad, tempest, turmoil. Tempestuoso, tempestuous. Templato, tempered, cool. Templar, to tune, temper. Temple, disposition, temper. Temperata, interval, period of time. Temporal, storm, bad weather. Temporalment, temporarily. Temprano, soon, early. Tenacidad, tenacity. Tenaz, tenacious, unrelenting. Tendencia, tendency. Tender, to stretch out, cast, level, attempt. Tendero, salesman, clerk. Tendiant, arg, attendant, clerk. Tendiant, tending. Tenebroso, dark. Tenor, to have, possess, hold, se. Pour, to consider oneself as, present, to bear in mind, encuenta, to take into account, apecho, to hold dear, love. Temptation, temptation. Tenter, to tempt, try. Tentativa, attempt, conspiracy. Tenue, tenuous, thin. Tenor, to tinge, di. Tercerola, carbine. Tertiana, intermittent fever. Tertiary, to sling across. Terminar, to bring to a close, and termino, time, term, limit. Ternura, calf, heifer, lomoda, loin of veal. Tenura, tenderness. Terreno, ground, soil terreno, a, earthy, worldly, earthly. Terrestre, earthly, terrestrial terrible, terrible territorial, territorial territorio, territory terran, m, lump of earth terror, m, terror terruno, native soil tertuliano, frequenter, habitue, member of a club or social circle tesoria, treasury tesoro, treasure testificado, a, attested to, witness testigo, witness testimonio, testimony tetrico, a, gloomy texto, text, basis tes, f, complexion, skin tibio, a, lukewarm tiempo, time tienda, shop, tentienta, probe, as, gropingly. Tiernament, tenderly tierno, a, tender tierra, land, earth, adentro, inland, estepan lavar, grain-producing lands tigre, m, tiger tijera, scissors timber, m, timber, pitch timidez, timidity timido, a, timid tiny blat, generally used in the plural, gloom, darkness tino, skill, tact tinta, tincture, ink tint, m, tint, color tinctura, tincture, tinge tipo, type, figure, trait tirado, a, drawn along, led tirador, marksman tyrannia, tyranny tyranno, tyrant, taut, tense, stringent. Tirer, to pull, throw, shoot tiratar, to shiver tyro, musket shot, range, hasta y medio de fusil, within range of 1.5 rifle distance tyrn, m, stroke, pull titanico, a, titanic titulato, a, entitled titulo, title, right tocado, headgear, coiffure tocar, to touch, play, me toca, it is my turn todavia, still, yet todo, a, every, entire, con, nevertheless, del, wholly, at all, and or de punto, in every respect toma, capture tomar, to take, assume, partido, to take. Sides tono, tone, de, stylish, fashionable, debune, in good taste topographo, topographer toque, m, sounding, ringing, de los animus, ringing of bells in the evening when the faithful pray for souls in purgatory torrida, herd of bulls torbellino, whirlwind torcaza, cushat dove tormenta, storm tormento, torment torner, to turn, return, se, to become torneo, tournament torno, wheel, n, roundabout, enda, about toro, bull torp, stupid, infamous torre, f, tower torrente, m. Torrent, a, in torrents torian, m, bastion, tower tortuoso, a, tortuous, entangled torvo, a, scowling, forbidding tosco, a, rough, rude tostar, to brown, roast total, total, entire total, m, total, sumtruba, hindrance, ligament trabajar, to work, suffer trabajo, work, hardship trabar, to begin, tie, to engage in trabazon, f, coherence, bon tradition, tradition traditional, traditional traducer, to translate, interpret, articulate trayer, to bring, where traffic are, to barter, traffic. Travel trafico, business, intercourse tragatero, esophagus, devourer tragedia, tragedy tragicament, tragically tragico, a, tragic traition, treachery traitor, traitor traitorament, treacherously trage, m, suit, garment tramar, to weave, to plot trans, m, critical moment, danger, cost tranco, stride, trot, al, on the trot tranquillament, tranquilly tranquilizer, to set at ease, com tranquilo, a, tranquil, quiet transaction, transaction transatlantico, steamer transatlantico, a transatlantic transcourier, to elapse transient, ANS, passing, passerby transformation, transformation transformar, to transform transito, a pierce transigier, to yield, compromise transitar, to roam transitorio, a transitory, temporary transmitter, to transmit, forward transparencia, transparency, clearness transparente, transparent transportator, transporter, carrier transporter, to transport, carry tranvia, m, trolley car tras, behind, after transcendental, transcendental trasladar. To move traslocer, to shine through traspasser, to go beyond trasplantar, to transplant trasponer, to put behind trastienda, rear shop tratar, to treat, de, plus infinitive, to try, seta, to be a matter of trato, intercourse, dealing, relation traves, m, bias, inclination, al, across Treviso, crossing, journey across Treviso, a, mischievous tracer, to trace, design treco, distance trenta, 30 tremendo, a, tremendous tremola, to wave, flutter, beat tren, m, train trenzar, to braid. Twine trepar, to climb, crawl on trace, 3 tribu, f, tribe tribuna, speaker's platform tribunal, m, tribunal, court tributor, to pay tribute, offer trigo, wheat triller, to thresh, cut trinchera, trencher, banquet, feast tripe, m, plush, shag triplement, triply, threefold triplicar, to triple treast, sad treast, m, Argentine song of that name tristeza, sadness triumphal, triumphal triumphante, triumphant triumphar, to triumph triunfo, triumph trofeo, trophy trompa, proboscis, trumpet, trunk. Tronco, trunk trino, throne tropa, troop, herd, arg, train of pack animals or ox carts tropel, m, hubbub, confusion tropezator, aura, stumbling trapeziar, to stumble trapezo, obstacle, difficulty, trouble troilla, arg, troop, herd trot, m, trot trotten, m, trotter trova, ballad trovador, troubadour, minstrel truino, thunder truic, m, exchange, a, in exchange truncado, a, truncated Tucumán, province of Argentina, also name of capital of said province Tucumano, a, of Tucumán tumba. Tomb, grave tumultuoso, a, tumultuous tuna, cactus pear, cactus plant tunnel, m, cactus, place where cactus grows tunica, tunic tupidissimo, a, very dense, thick turba, crowd turbation, agitation, disturbance turbanti, m, turban turbar, to trouble, disturb turbulent to, a, turbulent turno, turn tutela, guardianship, tutelage tutelar, tutelary, protecting ubicar, to place, locate ubiquo, a, omnipresent, ubiquitous ugier, usher ulterior, later, ulterior, further ultimament, lastly, in the and ultimo, a, last, final umbral, m, threshold umbroso, a, shady unanime, unanimous undecimo, a, 11th unicament, only unico, a, only, sole, unique unidad, unity uniform, uniform, constant uniform, m, uniform, de grande, in full uniform union, union unir, to join, unite unitario, a, unitary, unitarian universal, universal universidad, university uno, a, 1, pl, sum, y otro, both, unos y otros, all una, nail, claw urbano, a, urban urbi, f, city urgent, urgent user, 2. Use uso, use, usage util, useful v vaca, cow vacillation, vacillation vacilar, to waver, hesitate vaccio, a, empty, unburdened vaccio, hollow, void vado, ford vagabundo, a, roaming, vagabond vagament, vaguely vagar, to wander, roam vago, a, vague vago, idler vahilla, table service valor, to avail, be worth valoroso, a, valiant, brave valiente, ans, valiant, brave man valioso, a, valuable, powerful valor, m, valor, bravery, value valle, m, valley vanagloria, vainglory vandalage, m. Vandalism vanguardia, vanguard vanidad, vanity vano, a, vain vapor, m, steam, steamer vaporoso, a, misty vaquea, also written vaquea, dexterity, expertness vara, yard, yardstick variatu, a, varied varianti, m, variant vario, a, various, varied, pl, several verita, small stick varon, male, man varonil, manly vasilo, vassal vasco, a, Basque, pertaining to the Basque provinces of Spain vaso, vessel, vase, glass vastago, offshoot, branch, descendant vasto, a, vast, immense vat, m, seer. Poet ve, abbreviation for Vostra Excellencia, Your Excellency Vecindad, vicinity vecindario, vicinity, district, collect, neighbors vecino, a, ans, neighboring, neighbor, inhabitant, denizen, mpl, people, inhabitants vedado, a, forbidden vedija, entangled lock of wool vehemencia, vehemence vehement, vehement, strong veinte, 20 veintidos, 22 veintinuve, 29 veintitra, 23 viges, old age vela, vigil, watch, candle vela, sail velar, to keep watch, watch. Validad, fickleness, levity, shilly velero, swift sailing vessel velo, veil velocidad, velocity velorio, vigil for the dead veloz, rapid velozment, rapidly vencedor, victor vencer, to win, conquer vencimiento, victory, conquest, maturity vendaval, m, wind from the sea vendedor, salesman vendor, to sell veneciano, a, Venetian venerable, venerable veneration, veneration venganza, vengeance vengar, to avenge veneer, to come venta, inventaja, advantage ventana, window ventilar, to ventilate ventura, good fortune ver, to see, notice, a, let's see veracidad, veracity, truth verano, summer verbalment, verbally furbo, verb verdad, truth verdaderament, truly, indeed verdadero, a, true, genuine, veritable, real verde, green verdugo, executioner, tormentor verdura, verger, greens vereda, walk, path, arg, sidewalk verification, verification versification, versification versificador, versifere verso, verse vertiginosament, rapidly, giddily vertiginoso, a, giddy, swift. Vertigo, giddiness vespertino, a, pertaining to evening vestibulo, vestibule, lobby vestido, dress vestigo, trace, vestige vesture, to wear, put on veterano, a, veteran, seasoned vetisto, a, old vez, f, occasion, time, a lot, at the same time, tal, perhaps, and a, instead of, de and quando, from time to time, a su, in one's turn, otras veces, at other times, hacer las veces, to play the part, take the place via, way viajar, to travel voyage, voyage, trip, and, on the way. Viajero, traveler vibrant, vibrating vicio, vice, habit vicioso, vicious, corrupt vicissitude, lot victima, victim victoria, victory victorioso, victorious vita, life vitalita, gaucho song vidriera, showcase, window viejo, old viento, wind vientre, stomach, belly vigilancia, vigilance, maritima, harbor police vigilante, watchful, alert vigilia, vigil, nocturnal meditation vigor, vigor, strength vigorosamente, vigorously vigoroso, vigorous, powerful. Vivula, guitar vil, vile, low villa, community vino, wine vina, vineyard violation, violation violencia, violence violento, violent violin, violin virgin, virgin virginidad, virginity, purity virile, manly virreinato, viceroyalty viri, viceroy virtud, virtue, quality virtuosissimo, very virtuous virulencia, virulence visible, visible meant, visibly vision, vision visita, visit visitar, to visit viso, feature, aspect, outlook vista, look, sight, view, a law, in. Sight vitalidad, vitality vitula, food, vitals viuda, widow vivac, bivouac vivament, sharply, vividly vivaci, bivouac vivarus, mpl, provisions vivza, vivacity, keenness vivienda, dwelling vivere, to lie vivissimo, very keen, sharp vivo, alive, vivid, eager volatur, aura, flying volante, flying, light, artilleria, field artillery voler, to fly volcanico, volcanic volcar, to upset Voltaire, to throw down, overpower voltage row, voltager, light armed infantry soldier. Voluntad, will, mind voluntariamente, voluntarily voluntario, voluntary voluntario, volunteer voluntarioso, willful volvere, to return, turn, a plus infinitive, to do again, nsi, to regain consciousness, se, to become vomiter, to vomit, belch voter, to vote voto, vote, ballot, vow vaz, f, voice vs, abbreviation for voix honoria, your lordship vuelo, flight, loftiness in discourse vuelta, turn, diaruna, to take a stroll vulgar, commonplace vulgarizamo, very vulgar. Commonplace vulgo, crowd, populace yy, and already, even, now, with a negative, no longer, whether, or yasser, to lie yermo, waste, desert yurdo, stiff, inert, lifeless yugo, yokyunta, pair, yokzi zaffer, to untie zaga, rear of anything, irn, to be behind, inferior zigal, shepherd zamara, sheepskin coat zanja, ditch zanjan, deep ditch Zaragoza, city in Spain Zarper, to weigh anchor, set sail zona, zone, belt zoologico, zoological zorzal, thrush. Zozobra, worry, anguish zumbido, buzzing zupe, mythical character in the Quichua Indian traditions, represents the evil spirit of the forest. Footnotes, 1 Leon, an allusion to the lion on the Spanish coat of arms. 2 Su, i.e., de los Campeons. 3 Ase. The subject is marked in line 2. 4. Inca. When the Spanish conquistadores came to America, all of Peru, Bolivia, Ecuador, and northwestern Argentina were inhabited by the Quichua Indians. These Indians were divided into 7 tribes, from one of which came the Incas, who became the rulers of the vast territory occupied by the Quichuas. The Inca was the head of the ruling class and consequently the emperor of all the Quichuas. The reference here is to Atahualpa, the last Inca, who was strangled in 1533 by order of Pizarro, conqueror of Peru. 5 Sus, i.e., del Inca. 6 Loque, trans, as he sees his sons renewing the old splendor of the fatherland. Vide Bello Cuervo, Chromatica, 976, 977, and Cuervo, Apuntaciones Criticas, 337. 7 Se sienten, are heard. The student should exercise special care in noting the difference between the use of the reflexive as a substitute for the passive voice and the true use of the reflexive. The first use is confined almost entirely to the third person, singular and plural. 8 Mexico. From 1810 to 1820 the Mexicans fought bravely, but with scant success, to free themselves from the Spanish yoke. During that period 3 great leaders of Mexican independence were captured and shot by the Spaniards, the priest Miguel Hidalgo, in 1811, the priest Morelos, in 1815, and Francisco Xavier Mina, in 1817. Under the leadership of Santa Anna, in 1823, the Mexicans were finally successful in driving out the Spaniards and establishing a republican form of government. 9 Quito. Until the beginning of the 16th century the present Republic of Ecuador was the Kingdom of Quito, ruled over by the Incas. After Pizarro's conquest in 1533 it became the Audiencia of Quito, subject to the rule of the Viceroy of Peru. Ecuador was the last South American country to obtain its independence from Spain. From 1810 to 1822, when the Spaniards were defeated at the Battle of Pichincha, it was the scene of much ruthless and fierce fighting. 10 Cuel, trans, how. 11 Potosi, Cochabamba, La Paz, cities in Bolivia. Most of the fighting against the Spaniards in Bolivia took place in the triangle formed by those 3 cities. VMAP. 12 Caracas, capital of Venezuela, the first South American country to declare its independence from Spain, in 1811. About that time the terrors of an earthquake, which destroyed the greater part of the city, were added to those of war. 13 Cuel, trans, like. 14a, trans, against. 15 Vencedor, trans, as a conqueror, note absolute construction. 16 San Jose, Piedras, La Colonia, battles fought by the Uruguayans in cooperation with the Argentinians. At Las Piedras there were 2 engagements, hence ambas Piedras. San Lorenzo, name of the first battle fought by San Martin against the Spaniards. Supeca, Salta, Tucumán. General Balcarce defeated the Spaniards at Supeca, as did General Belgrano at the battles of Salta and Tucumán. 17 La Banda Oriental, popular name for the Republic of Uruguay. Until the period of the Revolution, Uruguay was one of the provinces of the Plata, and from its location on the eastern bank of the Uruguay River it received the name of Eastern District. 18 Su, i.e., del Guerrero Argentino. 19 Sus, i.e., del Tirano. 20 Por, trans, as. 21 Su, i.e., de la Libertad. 22 Ley, i.e., a los hombres. 23 Trino Dignissimo, i.e., independence from Spain. 24, Salud. Hail. 25 Para responder al titulo de la propiedad, to ensure claim to the property. 26 sequadods, abstract noun used as a concrete noun, trans, sterile lands. 27 absoluto, taken in its literal sense here, apart, by himself. 28 volteadas, Argentinism, separation and selection of cattle without previously rounding them up, hasty selection of cattle. Cf. Darwin's The Voyage of the Beagle. About 2 leagues beyond this curious tree we halted for the night. At this instant an unfortunate cow was spied by the lynx-eyed gauchos, who set off in full chase, and in a few minutes dragged her in with their lazos, and slaughtered her. 29 Leyes positivas, established laws. 30 Concendus ovados, etc., i.e., cerca de suchosa, nearby. 31 Genero de vida que Haitian, kind of life they led. 32 Lo Haitian, tiempo, gave him an air of mystery and dignity at the same time. 33 Voz cubierta, soft voice. 34 Con el monosyllabo, by a monosyllabic remark. 35 Introdujo una revolución social, i.e., the internal revolution that followed immediately upon the heels of the struggle for independence. 36 Por esto, on this account. 37 Vecindarios. This word means both district or ward of a town, and vicinity, hence the statement that follows. 38 Siesk, i.e., Sies verdad que. 39 A la altura, se nutren, on a par with the social milieu in which they are born and grow. 40 Sosi, of course, most assuredly. 41 Tomabo partido, y por pasión, he took sides, guided by his personal sentiments and emotions. 42 A su modo, peculiar to himself. 43 Por escapar, lit, for the sake of escaping, translate as if it were para escapar. There is very little difference between por and para when followed by an infinitive. Para is by far the commoner preposition used. 44 San Martín, Belgrano, the 2 greatest military leaders of Argentina during the period of the struggle for independence. 45 Cuerpo de Doctrina, system of dogmas. 46 Sui generis, Latin for a su modo. V. Note 18, 10. 47 De que no se daba otra cuenta, superior, lit, of which he gave himself no other account save as of a superior fact, i.e., of which he knew nothing save that it was a divine fact. 48 Le venia impuesto, was imposed upon him. Venir is here used as an auxiliary for the passive voice instead of ser. 49 Doctrina. Notice the use of a general term for a concrete term. What is meant here by doctrina is not teaching but teachers. 50 Motto. The steps, like the ocean, fill the soul with the feeling of the infinite. Taken from Humboldt's Voyages Auxiliary Regions Equinoxiales du Nouveau Continent. 51 No puede, negarse, it cannot be denied. Cf2, 9. 52 Lucha imponent. The indefinite article is regularly omitted in Spanish with nouns in apposition. 53 Están combatiendo. The first edition of Sarmiento's Facundo, the work from which this extract is taken, appeared in 1845, hence the use of the present. 54 Echeverría, one of Argentina's foremost poets. 55 La Cautiva, name of the poem for which Echeverría is best known. It marks a departure from Spanish classical traditions, depicting a struggle typical of the Pampas, its scenery, its inhabitants, and its poetry. 56 Dido and Argia, the titular heroines of dramas by Juan Cruz Varela, the foremost Argentine poet of the classical school. The first is based on the 4th book of Virgil's Aeneid, the second on Alfieri's Antigone. 57 Proportiona. The subject is el espectáculo. 58 Elos. The use of the prepositional object pronoun adds emphasis to the sentence. 59 Ojo de Halcón, Hawkeye, character in Cooper's The Last of the Mohicans. 60 Mingos, epithet applied to the Huron Indians in Cooper's Leatherstocking Tales. 61 Van a tapar el arroyo, they are going to dam the brook. Cf. Chapter XXI of The Last of the Mohicans. 62 La Pradera, Cooper's novel, The Prairie. 63 El Trampero, The Trapper, known also in the other works of Cooper's Leatherstocking Tales as Deerslayer, Hawkeye, Pathfinder, Settler. 64 Lo mismo que el Trampero Shujair. Cf. The Prairie, Chapter XXIII. 65 Los Incendios del Pasto. The dangers from such fires will be evident when it is known that not infrequently grass grows so tall in the pampas as to cover a man on horseback. 66 La misteriosa operación del Pawnee. Cf. The Prairie, Chapter XXIV. The Pawnee is an Indian character in The Prairie, friend of the trapper. 67 A cowhide, fashioned so as to give it buoyancy, is often used in the pampas to cross streams. An improvised craft of this type is called a pelota, i.e., ball. Though the pelota is often mentioned and described by Argentine travelers and explorers, nowhere other than in this passage of Sarmiento have the editors read that they were towed by women. Cf. The Prairie, Chapter XXIV. 68 Con la pelota, lazo, with the pelota towed by means of a rope seized between the teeth. 69 El procedimiento para asar una cabeza de búfalo. For reference v. The Prairie, Chapter 9. Sarmiento has evidently made a mistake here, meaning not the head but the hump of a buffalo. 70 En fin. In his Voyage of the Beagle, Chapter 3, Darwin, writing almost contemporaneously of conditions on the Pampas, says, "It is curious how similar circumstances produce such similar results in manners. At the Cape of Good Hope the same hospitality, and very nearly the same points of etiquette, are universally observed." 71 Acaba. The verb is in the singular because lo palpable y vulgar are taken to be one and the same thing. 72 Se aleja. The subject of this verb and the following verbs of the sentence is horizont. 73 Despierto, with concessive force, though awake. 74 Es poeta, is poetical. Notice the use of a noun with the force of an adjective. 75 Y como hata de jar de serlo, and how can it help being so? Lo refers to the previous statement, es poeta. 76 Mientras se cruzan dos palabras, in the twinkling of an eye. 77 Atras. The reflexive is here the indirect object of the verb. 78 Mosses de tiny blas, mosses de luz livida, in loose apposition with colores of the preceding sentence. 79 Y mustra, poder, and shows the limitless stretches of the pampa as they are vividly pierced by the lightning, the symbol of power. 80 Anadas, let it be added. 81 Una atmosfero cargada de electricidad. On a second night we witnessed a splendid scene of natural fireworks. The masthead and yard arm ends shone with St. Elmo's light, and the form of the vane could almost be traced, as if it had been rubbed with phosphorus. The sea was so highly luminous that the tracks of the penguins were marked by a fiery wake, and the darkness of the sky was momentarily illuminated by the most vivid lightning. Darwin, The Voyage of the Beagle, describing the entrance to the estuary of the Plata. 82 Como el pelo contrariado del gato, like a cat's hair when stroked the wrong way. 83 La vista, subject of the verbs gira, reconcentra, encuentra, in the preceding lines. 84 Parana and Uruguay, next line. 2 rivers. VMAP. 85 Arrojan. Strictly speaking, the subject is Cebos y Palmas, though the meaning is clearly that all the trees overhanging the banks, i.e., the aromo and the orange tree, shower their flowers. 86 Flor del Aire, flower of the air, popular name for a plant of the genus Tillandsia, very common in Argentina. There are many varieties, with flowers of different colors. The striking characteristic of this plant is that it will grow without having its roots in the ground, getting its sustenance from the air when tied to or suspended from anything. 87 Guazú, one of the rivers of the Parana Delta. 88 Es un canto frigio. The well-known archaeologist, Sir William Mitchell Ramsay, in his article on Phrygia in the Encyclopaedia Britannica says, the scenery is generally monotonous, even the mountainous districts rarely show striking features or boldness of character, where the landscape has beauty it is of a subdued melancholy character. The circumstances of the country are well calculated to impress the inhabitants with a sense of the overwhelming power of nature and of their complete dependence on it. Their mythology, so far as we know it, has a melancholy and mystic tone, and their religion partakes of the same character. 89 Rousseau, Jean-Jacques, the celebrated French philosopher of the 18th century, 1712 to 1778, in his youth wrote a dissertation on modern music, in which he attempted to introduce a new system of musical notation. 90 Copiapó, city in Chile. VMAP. 91 No lo Honda haber adoptado, cannot have adopted it. 92 Y lo populariza, exige, and popularizes it by the audiences which his song gathers. 93 Andaluz genuino. Most of the Spanish colonizers of Argentina were Andalusians. To this day their influence is noticeable in the pronunciation of Spanish throughout South America. The most striking difference in the pronunciation of the Castilians and that of the Andalusians is that the latter pronounce the Z, and the C when followed by E or I, like an S. The Andalusians do not make the S as sibilant as the Castilians, with them it is very often a light ASP irate sound. 94 Algunos refers to a specialidades in the preceding sentence. It is made masculine because the word is used to denote males, i.e., the typos and characteres which are described in detail later on. 95 Guerra Civil. The revolutionary struggle between Buenos Aires and the provinces of the interior, which broke out close upon the heels of Argentine independence, is referred to here. V. Introduction. 96 Esta muy buena silla, she is a very good mount. 97 Ha pasado air. A Spaniard would say here paso air. This use of the perfect instead of the preterite is a common Gallicism in South America. 98 Sierra de San Luis, in the province of San Luis. VMAP. 99 Fallerla, past sentence against him. Le is dative of disadvantage. 100 K, object of considera. 101 Sile sustia momentaneamente extraviars, if he happened to lose the track for a moment. 102 Donde te me has dir, stands for Donde te me has dir. Where do you think you will get away from me? 103 Unas hierbas, some blades of grass. 104 Bequeno, also spelled bequeno. This adjective is derived from the verb vacuar, which in Argentina means to round up cattle. In the course of their work, the bequenos, or cattlemen, acquired an intimate knowledge of the country, and it was only natural, therefore, that the pathfinders, the sense in which the word is used here, should come from their midst. Today it is also used to denote a person who is an expert in anything. 105 Imagineos. The final D of the second person plural imperative is dropped in reflexive verbs. 106 El camino que lleva, the road he is following. 107 Si no los hay, if there aren't any. 108 El camino hada ir al sur, the road must be to the south. 109 Lago o arroyo de agua salada o dulce. Salt streams and lakes are common in Argentina, particularly in the central provinces. One day I rode to a large salt lake, or salina, which is distant 15 miles from the town. During the winter it consists of a shallow lake of brine, which in summer is converted into a field of snow-white salt. One of these brilliantly white and level expanses, in the midst of the brown and desolate plain, offers an extraordinary spectacle. Darwin, The Voyage of the Beagle. 110 El General Rosas. V. Introduction. 111 Lo. Cf 29, 2. 112 Cuando sea próxima. The subject is el enemigo. 113 Observa los polvos, observes the clouds of dust. 114 El jefe obra bajo este dato, the chief makes his plans in accordance with this information. 115 Los aciertan, succeed in them. 116 Creares. The object pronoun is placed after the verb for stylistic effect. The student should avoid this use. 117 El General Rivera. José Fructuoso Rivera, 1790–1854, famous gaucho leader of the revolutionary movement in Uruguay. He was twice elected to the presidency of his country. Defeated in 1845 by Urquiza, he fled to Brazil. 118 Bunda Oriental. V5, 1. 119 Oribe, Manuel, one of the famous 33 liberators of Uruguay. V. Introduction. 120 Laval Liga, Juan Antonio, leader of the liberating expedition of the 33. 121 Con toda suciencia. The possessive adjective su refers to Ojo de Halcon and El Trampero, which are different names for the hero in Cooper's Leatherstocking Tales. 122 La Justicia, i.e., its emissaries, the police. 123 En Laza una vaca. This is hardly so today, save perhaps occasionally in the depths of the Pampas. But in the days of Sarmiento it was far from being an uncommon event. Cf 9, 22. 124 Se prive de los vicios. He supplies himself with tobacco and mate. In the simple life of the gaucho, tobacco and mate are luxuries, vices. 125 Entra en baile con su pareja, confundas en las mudanzas del cielito, joins in the dance with his partner, mingles with the others in the steps of the cielito. 126 Su morada sin límites, i.e., Los Cardales, the thistle fields of the Pampa. 127 En la provincia, i.e., in whichever province the gaucho malo may be living, or better, roving. 128 Si no sele pied, if he is not asked. 129 Aminos que el lo solicite. El refers to alguno, lo, to acercarse, trans, unless the traveler wishes the gaucho to approach him. 130 Valiente Rock, popular hero and gaucho leader, comparable to Custer in American history. 131 Catástrofe de Facundo. Reference to the assassination of this rival of Rosas. He was murdered by the outlaw gaucho Santos Pérez at the instigation of Rosas. His death was a favorite theme of the cantors. 132 El Infeliz, a term of mild contempt, the poor fellow. 133 De location sobre su cabeza, i.e., the cultured city element. 133 A no es fuera de propósito recordar aquí las semejanzas notables que presentan los argentinos con los árabes. en Argel, en Oran, en Mascara y en los Adures del Desierto, 6 siempre a los Arabs reunidos en cafés, por estarles prohibido el uso de los licores, apinados en derredor del cantar, generalmente dos que se acompañan de la vihuela a dúo, recitando canciones nacionales planetarias como nuestros tristes. La rienda de los Arabs es tejida de cuero y con azotara, como las nuestras, el freno de que usamos es el freno árabe, y muchas de nuestras costumbres revelan el contacto de nuestros padres con los moros de la Andalucía. De las fisonomías no se habla, algunos Arabs he conocido que rara haberlos visto en mi país el autor. Oran, port in Algeria. Mascara, town in Algeria, to the southeast of Oran. Azotara. In Argentina reins are often made long enough so that the ends may be used as a whip, these constitute the azotara. No se habla, let us not speak. 134 De location a los pais, i.e., the semi-civilized gaucho element of the country. 135 Donde quiera que, wherever. 137 Con ser, though being. 138 No está libertad, is not free from having some accounts to settle with the police. 139 Lo del rapto, the story of the abduction. 140 El poncho. The poncho used by the gauchos is a thick woolen blanket of oblong shape, with a slit in the center so that it may fall over the wearer's shoulders. It is an inseparable accoutrement of the gaucho. It is his winter coat, his raincoat, and his shield to boot, for in his dueling, to which he is much given, the gaucho fights with the knife in one hand and the poncho wrapped around the other hand and arm. 141 Se veía salir, there was seen emerging. 142 Tomado de la cola, clinging to the tail. 143 La sangrenta lucha, i.e., the struggle between the Unitarians and Federalists. V. Introduction. 144 Andando esta historia, as this history goes on. 145 En el capítulo primero, i.e., of the author's Facundo, from which this and the preceding selection are taken. 146 No se olvide, let it not be forgotten. 147 Kn estos. Translate as if it were Ykn estos. 148 A su tiempo, at the proper time. 149 Ocupa. The subject is Labrador. 150 Lo variado, the variety. 151 Todo lo contrario, just the opposite. 152 Los límites de la propiedad no están marcados. Later on, when Sarmiento became president, he introduced wire fences to indicate the boundary lines of the estancias. 153 Anqui no sepan que hacer, though they may not know what to do with themselves. 154 La corbata. To a gaucho the cravat is the mark of the city man. 155 El Ano 41, i.e., 1841. 156 Como mijada ir. How do you suppose? 157 Estas dos phrases, i.e., and Chile. Pi. In a foreign land. And on foot. Chile, moreover, being a mountainous country, ill suits the gaucho accustomed as he is to the plains of Argentina. Being horseless is of course always a calamity for a gaucho, whether in the pampa or far from it. 158 Se dan. V2, 9. 159 Donde se elijan visto rastros al león, where the tracks of the lion, puma, have been seen. 160 Se fraterniza, lit, it is fraternized, trans, their drinking and the prodigality of those with means induce comradeship. 161 Mpesian HRs, begin to be laid. 162 La Peninsula, i.e., Spain. 163 Guerra a Cuchillo. War to the knife. The Spanish general, José Palafox Melfi, defender of the city of Zaragoza against the besieging troops of Napoleon, 1808–1809, being asked by the French general to surrender, answered with the famous words above mentioned. For this heroic defense of Zaragoza he was made Duke of Zaragoza. 164 Amasta un arma, besides being a weapon. 165 A la par de Janid. After the words a la par the words de hacer alard are understood and ser is understood before Janid and valiente. 166 Una esgrima, a form of dueling. 167 Así se ve estos gauchos, thus these gauchos are seen. 168 Por briller. V18, 15. 169 Si cor a la partida, if he gets the better of the rural guards. 170 Si su conducta posterior, i.e., Rosas protected murderers because he himself turned out to be the greatest of murderers later on when he became dictator. 171 En cuanto a los juegos de equitation. Darwin, speaking of the horsemanship of the gaucho, says, General Rosas is also a perfect horseman, an accomplishment of no small consequence in a country where an assembled army elected its general by the following trial: a troop of unbroken horses, being driven into a corral, were let out through a gateway, above which was a crossbar. It was agreed that whoever should drop from the bar on one of these wild animals, as it rushed out, and should be able, without saddle or bridle, not only to ride it, but also to bring it back to the door of the corral, should be their general. The person who succeeded was accordingly elected, and doubtless made a fit general for such an army. This extraordinary feat has also been performed by Rosas. 172 Uno le arroja un tiro de bolas, someone takes a shot at him with the bolas. The bolas used by the gauchos to catch cattle and game are of two kinds. They may consist of two round stones covered with leather and united by a leather thong about 7 or 8 feet long, or they may consist of 3 balls united to a common center. The balls differ in size and weight, depending on the kind of game the gauchos wish to catch. They are twirled around the head and hurled at the feet of the fleeing animal. Light bolas of the first kind are called lives. Cf 82, 12. 173 Vasalir al Janid corriendo, the rider is seen to emerge running. 174 Cajon Parado en Bandidos, who have ended by becoming bandits. 175 Vanaperders en el crimen, are lost in crime. 176 Que conquistara, trans, that once conquered. 177 Lagos Pontinos, the Pontine marshes, the low country surrounding Rome. 178 Los Zumalacárregui, Los Mina. Tomás de Zumalacárregui, 1788–1835, and Javier Mina, 1789–1817, were intrepid guerrilla fighters who distinguished themselves in the Peninsular War against Napoleon, and later died in struggles against their own compatriots. 179 Sierra Leone, British colony on the western coast of Africa, between French Guinea and Liberia. 180 K, a pocapated form of Porke. 181 Capataz de Carretas, foreman of a train of ox carts. For boldness and ruggedness these foremen may well be compared with the American pioneers who crossed the prairies in the 40s. 182 Algún famoso de tiempo atrás, someone famous in former days. 183 Por supuesto, K. The K is redundant. 184 Swilhaber, there are want to be. 185 Lo. Cf 29, 2. 186 Lo arbitrario, the arbitrariness. 187 Sin KSUSSECUASES Student Elo, without his followers doubting it. The student must bear in mind that, whereas without in English is used only as a preposition, in Spanish its equivalent sin is used as a conjunction when, as in this case, it is followed by K. Spanish clauses introduced by sin K, therefore, must be translated by the preposition without plus the gerund of the verb. 188 Comandante de Campana, an officer exercising both civil and military authority in the country, trans, country prefect. 189 Todavía una circunstancia nueva, still another circumstance. 190 En su obediencia. Su refers to el gobierno. 191 Así el gobierno papal. The pontificate of Gregory XVI, 1831–1846, was notoriously ill-advised. 192 El Sultan. Mustafa IV in 1806, by imperial firman, ratified the election of Mehemet Ali by the sheikhs to the Pashalik of Egypt. Mehemet Ali, 1769–1849, Pasha and afterwards Viceroy of Egypt, though an illiterate of humble birth, was an extraordinarily clever and astute man. It was only through the intervention of the powers that in 1849, after the rout of the Ottoman forces at the Battle of Nezab, he was forced to be satisfied with only the hereditary viceroyalty of Egypt. 193 Destrones. The subject is Mehemet Ali. 194 Revolución, i.e., the social revolution after the War of Independence. 195 López y Ibarra, Artigas y Games, Facundo y Rosas. V. Introduction. 196 La Ciudad, i.e., Buenos Aires. 197 El Camino que él había traído, the path he had followed. 198 Otros tantos, so many. The naming of such worthless men as those mentioned to the post of prefect was the equivalent of eliminating that number of prefects. 199 La Revolución de las Ciudades, i.e., against the Spaniards. 200 La Desasociación, i.e., de la Campana. 201 En la Desocupación, originating in idleness. 202 Estos focos, i.e., la pulpería, la estancia, la venta. 203 En Facundo Quiroga. For translation rearrange the sentence thus, Ultimamente en Facundo Quiroga veremos, understood, la campana triunfante en todas partes sobre las ciudades, y estas, siendo, understood, dominadas en su espíritu, gobierno, civilization, veremos, understood, formarse, al fin, el gobierno, etc. In the series espíritu, gobierno, civilization the conjunction y is omitted by ascendaton. 204 Montana, i.e., the Andes. 205 Santiago del Estero. VMAP. 260 Scolaran, had excelled. 207 Cuzco, city in Peru, capital of the ancient empire of the Incas. VMAP. 208 Iesu, Vagabunda, the entire forest traversed by him in his wanderings is the scene of his activities. 209 Si Parisque, etc., it seems indeed as if the treble string, etc. 210 Zupe. It is of interest to note in this connection that the gaucho of the Pampa calls the spirit Mandinga, who, although evilly inclined toward men, does at times do them favors. 211 Salamanca. The University of Salamanca was famous in the Middle Ages as a great center of learning. Its motto was Salamanca, Maestra de todas las ciencias. In the 13th century Pope Alexander IV, by a bull, made it one of the 4 great academies of the world. In Argentina, the word Salamanca has become synonymous with learning used for evil purposes, and means both witchcraft and the school where witchcraft is taught. 212 PR. Music plays an important part in all the gatherings among Argentine countrymen. 2 payadores, or bards, engage in a musical contest. Each man sings in turn, accompanying himself on the guitar on any improvised subject, and at the end the audience expresses its approval of the winner by its applause. 213 Enano de la Siesta, the dwarf of the noonday nap. Tradition has it that ghosts walk about in the quiet hours of the noonday nap. This is not surprising if one bears in mind the deep stillness that pervades small Spanish-American towns, particularly those in the interior. 214 Montes Saladinos, Saline Mountains. Cf 42, 14. 215 Evoca. The subject is Ave in the preceding sentence. 216 Turai, Quichua for brother. 217 Atrapado a garrote, clubbed to death. 218 Pescado en fisca en el remanso del río, harpooned in the still waters of the river. 219 I know, if not, or else. 220 Ashpamishki, Tiusimi, Kayans, Quayas, also Moromoros, 83, 3, Quichua names of different varieties of bees. 221 Nscase, without game. 222 Bolita olives, brought down with light bolus. Cf 64, 5. 223 Tupo, Quichua name for a measure of any sort, trans, jar. 224 El Lacro de su refrigerio habitual, customary